Hello, everybody. It is Wise Women's Wednesdays. Come on down. Let's get busy. Wise women, where are you? I'm looking for you. Come on down. Let's chit chat a little bit. What do you say? Who's up for it? There we go. Here comes the people. There we go. Anyone have a hello or a happy afternoon or whatever? Happy Wise Women's Wednesday. There she goes. There's Melanie. Yes, it is just absolutely. I've had a couple of people write in and say, hey, it's just like Romper Room. I see Melanie. I see Catherine. Yes, I do. And for those of you who don't know what Romper Room is, well, let's just say you missed out. There we go. There's Deborah and Melissa and Jan in Texas. Yay, bring it on in, you guys. Let's do this. Heidi Kelly is here in the house. I love watching all you guys roll in. It's really fun. Catherine knows Romper Room. So does, and Jerry's here as well. Good, Jerry. Good to see you. There's Letha. Yay, Letha. I'm glad you're here today. And Margaret. Letha is in my Hot Milk Club. And I had a consult with her last week, so it was so fun to see her finally face to face. You know, you see people's pictures, but when you are eyeball to eyeball, it just, you know, you remember them. There's Tammy and Lucy. Thank you. Rainey says I look nice in pink. This is my new favorite thing. Just, you know, your basic, very, very pink sweatshirt that I got in, where was I? Costco. It's a little Costco thing. You know, there's Joanne. Melanie says she knows Romper Room. Here come all our ladies. Are you guys sharing this? We've got things to do today. It's Wise Women's Wednesday. I love Wise Women's Wednesday because, you know, we have an opportunity to really sit back and, you know, maybe we've discussed this before, maybe we haven't, but it certainly is a good day for discussion. It's certainly a good day to get up off of our butkus and really push it out and get something done. There's Marianne. It's good to see you. So today is Wise Women's Wednesdays. One of the things that we look at when we're talking about wise women is like an overall assessment. What can we do? How can we make things better? And you know, it's Anti-Procrastination Day in Fly Lady Land. And you know this, if you're not a part of Fly Lady and getting your house organized and for once and for all, this is the place to go. This 19 years ago changed my life. Go to flylady.net. And you'll learn all about it. And Marla does well, she's been doing, her shows have been a little more irregular lately simply because of all that's on her plate right now. And you guys are praying for her, which I really love. And she's got a lot. She's helping her nephew, Ben, going through cancer treatments and has, you know, is going back and forth between home here in Brevard and up in Knoxville. And you know, she is something. There's not a lot of people on this earth who would do what she has done. And I have nothing but respect for her. You know that. So keeping her in prayer is something that I do on a daily basis. And I really invite you to do that as well as Ben. And I got an email or a text message from Ben telling me that he felt good and it was God's hand had guided the surgeon like the potter's hand on the wheel. It was really very poetic. He's such a sweetheart. So anyway, that happened yesterday, and she's picked him up this morning. And I haven't talked to her yet today, but I will be. But yes, Marla is a strong woman, and she's incredible, and she is an example to all of us what selflessness looks like. Because she's given up a lot to go up there and do all of this. And, you know, I'll tell you something, nothing but admiration from me, nothing but respect from me, and I love her to death. I couldn't love her any more than I already do. And you know, I'm her best friend for 19 years now, and so saying this, just seeing another layer of her just doing this is just incredible. Now, she couldn't have done this had she not gotten herself organized and gotten herself together. This is why we talk about all the things that we talk about. This is why she talks about what she does. I talk about what I do, and we call ourselves the 1-2 punch because all of it works together, doesn't it? You cannot possibly put all of this together, put together a good diet, put together a lifestyle, something that is vibrant and wonderful that you love, if you can't take care of yourself by eating properly, if you can't get your house cleaned up and organized, it doesn't happen. And this is why it's so incredible that we have this opportunity to do this. So that is exactly right, Catherine. She is healthier and she's had more stamina to get this done. And as her body clutter buddy, I've been staying in touch with her on all of this, and she is doing incredibly. You haven't received what book yet, Letha? Letha said she hasn't received a book. So any kind of customer service things, my suggestion is that you email customer service at support@savingdinner.com and say what it is that you're missing. Because I can help, you can be helped there, but I can't really help you here. Okay? So anyway, today is Wise Women's Wednesdays, and one of my biggest things on that is, Catherine, thank you for that. One of my biggest things for that is I like to start off with a quote. I like things that make me think. I like things that make me have to question what it is that I'm doing, or take an honest assessment of what it is that I'm doing. Because again, we are not looking for excellence. I know, or not looking for perfection. But we are looking for excellence, and we're looking at ways to do things and make it easier. Well, today is, you are looking for a cookbook. Okay, well then email into customer service and talk to them about that, and we'll take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to put the comments over here. There it is. So today is Anti-Procrastination Day. I just saw that. I just saw Marla's video, and she was talking that it was Anti-Procrastination Day. So I thought, what a good thing to talk about, because what we need to be looking at is, instead of procrastinating, we don't want to procrastinate. We want to automate, right? There are a lot of things right now that I know that you are doing just on automatic pilot. And if you heard my workshop last week when I was talking about this, it's called a theta state, where you're just sort of, it's almost that state just before you go to sleep or just before you wake up, where you're automatically doing something and you're just kind of in that zone where you're not thinking about exactly what it is that you're doing. You're just kind of just doing it. And you know this because you know what that feels like, that theta zone. You know what it feels like to be falling asleep. You know what it feels like to wake up. And you also know what it feels like to drive somewhere and just go, oh my goodness, how did I even get here? You know, you just get in the car and drive. Everything is automated. But I want you to be looking at how our automated stuff, the detrimental automated stuff, needs to come out and get replaced with something that's good and helpful and will take the ball down the field instead of putting you on the sidelines. You know, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. So I want you to just look at this one quote. This is one of my favorite quotes, and it's from Hal Elrod. He wrote The Miracle Morning, and it's all about getting up earlier in the morning and getting things started off in such a way that's going to make you proud of your day, instead of looking at it at the end of the day and going, oh, I didn't get anything done today. How many times have you said that to yourself, huh? So Hal listen, he's been through everything. He's been through cancer a couple of times. You know, this guy he wouldn't let them pull him down. And it is his mindset is what got him through. So I have a whole lot of respect for him. And I think he's done a really tremendous job on keeping things on a level that we all need to at some point. So here's this quote today. Let today be the day you give up who you've been for who you can become. And that's one of the things that I want to talk to you today about, what you want to become. What is it that you want to become? What are you projecting for 2020? Now, we have a tendency to procrastinate a lot of stuff, don't we? I mean, I've had people write into me and say, you know, I've just been sitting on the couch all day. I haven't been getting anything done. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know what to say to that except get up off the couch. Stop doing that. Do one thing. Make a list for yourself. Create a morning and an evening routine. Fly Lady teaches this. We take it to the next level and we call them rituals because they're so important. And that's exactly what it is. This is the automate part. Instead of procrastinating, you automate. Instead of procrastinate, automate. Automation can either take you down a notch or it can lift you up. Because if you do things on an automatic pilot, you can start adding things in that are habits that will keep you going to the next level. And I love that part. It's like the 4-minute workout and my routine of the coffee, getting the coffee going and emptying the dishwasher and then getting that 4-minute workout in. The first one is done in the morning and it's an automatic thing. And let me just tell you, there are times when I say, oh, I don't want to do that, but I do it anyway. I do it anyway, and I am reaping the benefit of it. I am reaping the benefit. There are times when I don't want to take my supplements, but I do it anyway, and I'm reaping the benefit. I just had an email today from somebody saying, I can't believe the difference in your face since September. And my skin does, my skin looks really good. And, and I've also, I've lost 15 pounds and all of that, but still, come on, Automation, when you automate a habit, you start reaping the benefits of what automation does. Or, on the other hand, you reap all the consequences of what awful automated habits do. And you know that. I mean, what do you think cigarette smoking is? Cigarette smoking is an automated habit. After dinner, you have a cigarette. After you go out with friends, you have a cigarette. You do, cigarette smoking. Well, once upon a time, it used to be a whole lot more acceptable, and it's become kind of an awful thing now, and people mostly don't smoke in their homes anymore. I grew up in a house with 2 smoking parents. I know what that is. I've seen that automation, So what do we want to do? How do we want to build these habits? Well, there's several things. One is that we have to create routines for ourselves in the morning and in the evening. And Fly Lady teaches you that. It's all about in the evening setting yourself up in the morning, and in the morning setting yourself up for your day. So that when your feet hit the floor, like Marla says, when those feet hit the floor, you're going, you know what to do. You're not just sitting around, running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You've got things to do, and they're on automatic pilot. Automatic pilot gets you through the things and gets things done and set up and created in a way that elevates your priorities to actually getting done. Because here's the thing, and you've heard me say this before over and over again, that who you are shows up in what you do, not what you say. So if you say, for example, that, well, my priority is that I'm a Christian woman, and every single day that's my biggest priority in my life. Well, is it showing up? And I'm calling you out a little bit, but is it showing you up? Do you have a meditative, prayerful practice daily? Are you reading the Bible or spiritual literature or something like that to boost up your soul so that you're able to be that woman? Is this who you are? Are your actions showing up? Are you, giving to the poor? I mean, just basic stuff. Is this something that you're doing? If you say that you're a spiritual person, it needs to show up in what you do and how you conduct your life. If you say that you're a fit person or that you eat healthy, then it needs to show up daily in your life with your habits. You can't have that bumping thing happen. When that happens, when things aren't clicking into place, they can't click into place because they're counterintuitive to one another. We can't do that to ourselves because that keeps us living in a way where we're saying one thing and doing another, and we're not in congruency with ourselves. That splits our soul. It splits our heart. It splits our energy. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. What if I were to go over to Marla's house and did a Facebook Live and said, you guys, she's a hoarder. Look at her house. And did a whole Facebook Live and just totally outed her because she had all this stuff going on. Well, that's not the case. I've been over there a million times. I can tell you that's not the case. But wouldn't that just destroy you? Wouldn't that just make you say, oh my gosh, there's no congruency here? Well, and same here. If you came over to my house and, well, there is ice cream in my freezer. I don't eat it. That's Mark's. But, if you just came in and saw my pantry and it was just stuffed full of garbage food that I always tell you not to eat, what would you think? Well, this is exactly what happens to us when we say one thing and we do another. Our priorities have to show up in what we do, or we don't have priorities. We're just talking. Our talk and our walk need to go together. And this is why, if we can automate our routines, automate things in a ritualistic way, that things start to happen and we start to do things on a daily basis. I showed you in the sprint group, I showed everybody how I did my supplements. And I set them up in the morning when I'm making my coffee. I pull them out. They're right there in the coffee drawer. I have a drawer for my mugs and for my filters, and that's where I keep all my supplements for the morning, because I open the drawer and I don't have to think about them because they're right there. It's a visual clue, like, oh, pull the supplements out. You need to take your supplements. Okay, so I do that. Same thing in the afternoon when it's time to break my fast. You know, I pull my supplements out as I'm getting my mindful mug ready of bone broth or hot milk soup. And then the same thing in the evening. I have my supplements in the cabinet with all my face stuff when I wash my face at night. And I have habits that have promoted and held my good habits, my good healthy habits high for years. You know, I'm 61 and I have great skin. I have great skin because I take really good care of it, you know, and I'm really proud of it. You know, I'm still 61, and if you got up close and personal, boy, could you see those wrinkles. But so what? You know, I'm going to be the best that I can possibly be for where I am at this point in my life. And I know that my habits are going to take me to where I want to go. And that's the whole thing. What are habits? Habits are routines. They're rituals. It's what you put in front of your day. It's what you put in the back of your day. And if you can automate that, then you'll stop procrastinating, because your priorities always show up and they reflect how you live. So if you're saying something different than how you're living, you're not in congruency, and you've got an internal battle going on with your heart and soul. And it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of angst, and it's a lot of stress and worry. And it doesn't have to be that way. You just need to line things up. You need to look at it and you need to determine this needs to go and this needs to come in. It's simple. Not easy, but it's simple. And here's something else to know. When I first started, like for example, the 4-minute workout, when I first started that, there was a lot of, I didn't want to do it, but making it consistent made it easier and made it better. And it became a little bit more automated. Same with the supplements. I kept forgetting. And so you know what I did? I adjusted. I looked at it and said, wow, you know, yesterday I completely forgot my supplements. What am I going to do here? And so I adjusted where everything went. I used to keep them in a big box. Now I don't. Now I keep morning supplements with the coffee stuff, evening supplements with my face stuff. And then I've got my lunch stuff. And that's easy because it's easy for me to remember at that point. So having a visual clue and having something help you to do whatever it is that you need to do makes all the difference in the world. Setting yourself up for success constantly. I do this, I'm all over the place. If you don't believe me, ask my team, they'll tell you. But I am all over the place. And so when I block out time, when it's time to write, I could easily get sucked into the vortex of, well, I just need to go check in the hot milk group or check in with the hot milk club or do something here. But I've got to shut down social media. I shut it down and I go to my Brain FM app and I put on the focus music and I plug in my earphones and away I go. I shut my door and I just go for it, because I have to do that in order to get the work done that the rest of the team is waiting for me on, because they can't do their thing if I haven't done mine. So people are depending on me, and people are depending on you too, to do the things that you need to do in order to get things done. But you have to correct your environment. You have to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work anymore. And you have to reassess and constantly assess, really, is this working and is it working well? Is it working excellent? What do I need to do to make it better? And one of the things I say to you repeatedly, because it's so important, is to take the emotion out of it. This is not a reflection of how good a person you are or how bad a person you are. It's just a reflection of what your habits are. Can we agree on that? It's just a reflection of what your habits are. You see me every single time with my hot milk mix because 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that is my habit. that I have some hot melt mix. And by the way, hot melt mix is right here. Here it is. I love this stuff. It's something that I think everybody should have in their lives because you get exogenous ketones in there. It keeps you in ketosis, keeps you in a weight loss state, has MCT oil in it, which helps with the electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, potassium. So if you're feeling crappy because you're changing from being a sugar burner to a fat burner, this is the stuff. We've got a link right here in it. Everybody's asking me about it. I get a question about it daily. So I'm just telling you, hot melt mix to the rescue. And it says that there's 30 servings per container. I do about 60 because I make a huge container out of this. I double up on the water. Makes a big difference. That was a sidebar right there. Sorry about that. But that's, again, it's part of creating this habit. Bruce Lipton calls it habituation. When we have habituation in our lives, man, and they're good habits, doesn't it just make such a difference? Suddenly, you've always got bone broth in the refrigerator. Suddenly, you've got salad stuff all set up and ready to go. Suddenly, you have choices because you've stocked up your freezer. You've got something you can pull out and create a good protein with. All of these things make all the difference in the world because it is what creates your life. Your life is created by what it is that you do. Wishful thinking is never going to bring that in. Wishful thinking is going to put you in the place of constantly wanting something that seems so far off in the distance. Or it's going to put you in the place of comparing yourself to other people. Or it's going to put you in the place of thinking, well, one day. Have you ever considered the fact that your days are numbered? That your days are numbered. You have so many days on this planet and then you're going to be gone forever. That's just how it works. If you've ever been to a funeral, if you've ever buried a loved one, you know this. And you too have an expiration date. So if you're not treating each day as the gift that it is, if you're not creating a life the way you want it, then what are you waiting for? 2020 is around the corner, and it doesn't have to look anything like 2019 does if you don't want it to. And you know what? Right now, you can go get a PDF of our journal. You can get the workshop, and you can learn how to habituation and creating these routines, these actual beautiful rituals in your life will completely change everything. It's at savingdinner.com/journal. It's right there. I have taught on this for a few years. I created this journal a few years ago, and I did it for myself because I couldn't get past, my morning routine essentially and my evening routine. I mean, I had those things, but I wasn't putting my goals into place. And your goals are just basically the vision that you have for yourself, whether it's, walking down the street in a pair of size 6 jeans, or whether it's sending a child off to college, or having the money to be able to go on a vacation, whatever your goals are, maybe having a new career, who knows? Be a NutriCoach. Go check it out at NutriCoachSchool.com. Life doesn't have to hand you a whole bunch of junk you don't want. Life doesn't have to be holding you back. The only thing holding you back is you. If you are not going to be proactive in your life and create exactly what it is that you want, you're not going to get it. That's a guarantee. Nobody's going to show up, knock on your door and say, hey, by the way, do you want the life? You want this great life over here? I'm just going to hand it to you. You have to make it. You're the contractor. You're the architect. You have the power to do this. How exciting is that? It's all inside of you. And I promise you, it is not just for some people, it's for all. And all we have to do is just take a minute and stop. Stop. And take a look at all the things that just aren't working anymore. And the things that aren't working, don't be overwhelmed with them. And start creating instead the things that will work for you. I know you've been there before. I know you've created success before in your life. But there are tools for doing that. And one of them is the routines and the rituals that just make those just absolutely ironclad. They cannot be moved. They cannot be budged. And the other thing is to treat your body as if it's the only body you'll ever have, because it is. Treat it with respect and kindness and gentleness and love. And that means you're going to feed it the food that it needs. You stop thinking about your mouth as being the entertainment zone, and you start thinking about, how do I fuel this life that I want to have that's vibrant? This life that takes me off of the sidelines and puts me right into the game, so that I am being all things to what my family needs right now, instead of just being off, I can't do this and I can't do that. That you go for the hike, that you show up, and that you're at the amusement park going on the rides with the kids because you can fit. All of this stuff comes in, We have to do, there's certain biological things we have to do. We have to feed ourselves every single day, or not if we're fasting. That's another topic entirely, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But food plays into it, some kind of fuel. We have to hydrate daily, and we have to move. Do you know that they've shown that 100-year-old people in all the blue zones all over the world, you know what exercise habit they have? They all walk daily. And, it might be cold outside, you don't want to walk, but I'll tell you what, anyone right now, get up and just march in place. You don't have to have a big program or a gym membership or equipment or anything. You just have to pick up your feet. It's simple. 100-year-old people in the blue zones all over and if you don't know what the blue zones are, Google blue zone and old people. You'll see all these old people who are living, and they all have different diets, which is really interesting. I mean, they're all whole food diets, but they're all different diets. But they all have the same thing in common, and that is that they move and they hydrate and they have a meditative religious practice of some sort, and they sleep well and they laugh and they have community. These are all things that we need as humans. We are humans. We're not little hermits over here in a little cave, waiting for somebody to scale our mountains so they can ask us, oh, wise one, what is the meaning of life? It's not going to happen. We're in the place in our lives where at any point we have the luxury, you guys, the luxury of not having to worry if we're going to have clean water tomorrow or the next day. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to go out and catch our food, do we? We don't have to. There's so many things we don't have to do. We have so many things that already automatically do things for us. I mean, if you've ever washed your clothes or your dishes, it's all automatic. You just have to put them in the machine and it'll do it for you. We have a lot of luxuries. We have a lot of giftings, if you will, of giving us our time back. All of these machines help us to redeem our time. But you need to be the one who decides that your time is worth redeeming and that your life is worth redeeming. And that's what we do. That's what we do in the sprint. That's what we do. Everything that we do here is all about that. It's constantly refining the process, constantly going back to the place of how can I make this better for myself and for my family, right? I've said repeatedly, we are not bikini models. We're not looking to get our abs of steel on a, magazine cover, are we? No, we're not. What we're looking for is lives that matter. What we're looking for is being able to create lives that have meaning for our families, for our communities, for our work, and for ourselves. You're worth it. You're worth all the time that you put into yourself. You're worth the self-care of just taking an Epsom salt bath tonight. You're worth the self-care of taking your supplements. You're worth the self-care of taking a minute to create the life that you want by getting granular with what your daily habits are. Scrapping it and going through, no, I don't want that, I don't want that. What I want is this. I want healthy, vibrant life. I want a life that's not full of pain and agony that I can walk, a mile without having my hips kill me or my knees. You want to have a life that shows up and isn't on the sidelines, that's actually in the game. That's what I want for you. And that's why we do the sprint. And that's why, if you haven't done it, you can jump in right now. It's savingdinner.com/sprint. And it's 100% free. We give it to you. And the reason we do is because we want to take as many people with us as we can. And you just look in that community on Facebook and just watch these people. All of them will be telling you how much weight they've been losing this week, how good they feel, how much less pain there is. I don't have to say a word. I just watch. But this is what happens when when bad habits get replaced with good. This is what happens when you clean things up. You start to get the things you want. Who wants to live their life in default? Who wants to live their lives in a way that you just get what's given to you? I don't. I want way more than that. And I'm going to make sure that I'm proactive and getting what I want. There you go, guys. Wise Women's Wednesdays. You know what to do. Oh my goodness. Whoops. I missed there's your comments. So thanks for joining me today. And listen, wise women also, they take supplements, and they take good pharmaceutical grade supplements. We have them in the shop. And right now, shipping is free. January 1st, shipping is not free. Okay? You hear me? You want shipping? You want it free? Go get it now and stock up and take advantage of this, because shipping is going to be added in starting January 1st. So get what you want, stock up, and let's do it. I really appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for sharing this and for caring and showing up every single day that you do. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow I'll be here again right at 1 o'clock Eastern time every single day. So I appreciate you showing up. I thank you for showing up. And I will see you again tomorrow. Peace.